Hello and welcome to the next installment of the Student Accounts Tuition and Fee Payment videos. In this video we're going to talk about the North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee. The North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee was passed by the North Carolina State Legislature and signed into law in July of 2016. To find information related to the North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee, please go to the Student Accounts website, which is studentaccounts.appstate.edu. Click on Tuition and Fees, and then click on the North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee. The Fixed Tuition Guarantee is legislatively mandated with North Carolina General Statute 116-143.9, as you can see here. The North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee is for North Carolina resident undergraduates, for tuition purposes, undergraduate students. To paraphrase the statute, North Carolina residents for tuition purposes are allotted up to 8 consecutive semesters, which does not include summer sessions, where the student is guaranteed that their tuition will not increase. I highlight tuition because this does not include the required fees as well as housing and meals. Each student is assigned a year that they began at Appalachian. They are assigned a number of semesters that they're entitled to of fixed tuition, which I'll go into in a moment, and they will maintain that rate for up to 8 consecutive semesters while they attended Appalachian. When students withdraw during a semester, it depends on the date of withdrawal to determine how the fixed tuition guarantee is impacted. If a student withdraws up to the census date, which is the 10th day of class, the student will not get fixed tuition for that term, but will retain the semester as one of their 8 and will not lose it. When the student decides to return to Appalachian, they will retain the semester that they started as one of their 8, but they will come back and their rate will be fixed at whatever the market rate is for tuition for undergraduate and state students at the time they return. So in essence, if the student withdraws by the census date or the 10th day of class, fixed tuition did not apply, the rate is lost, and when the student comes back, they're granted fixed tuition for the number of remaining terms that they had of the up to 8 semesters, but at whatever new rate they come back at. If a student withdraws after the 10th day of class, then that student does use one of their up to 8 semesters, and as long as they return the next fall or spring semester, whichever is next, then the student maintains that fixed rate, but the semester that they withdrew would be counted as one of their up to 8 semesters. To see these details, please go to studentaccounts.appstate.edu, click on the Tuition and Fees tab, and then the North Carolina Fixed Tuition Guarantee section. As I mentioned when I began, only North Carolina residents for tuition purposes are granted fixed tuition. And those students that are granted fixed tuition must be undergraduate students. There are some details regarding who is eligible on this page. I have referenced up to 8 semesters as the number of terms that a student is granted because any hours transferred in to Appalachian do decrease the number of fixed tuition terms that the student is granted. For this purpose, a term is considered 15 hours, and so if a student were to transfer in 3 hours, we round up to 15, and the student would be granted 7 fixed tuition terms rather than 8. Keep in mind that all of these guidelines are not the ones determined by Appalachian. These are determined by both state law as well as the UNC system. Appalachian's responsibility in this is simply to implement what the state has determined. In addition to this, a student can see if they're in a fixed tuition cohort and how many semesters they have left by going to applenet.appstate.edu, logging into AppleNet, clicking on the Student tab, the Student Accounts link, and then third from the bottom is NC Fixed Tuition Guarantee. So if your student is eligible, there would be a drop-down menu here that had what year your rate was frozen at as far as the tuition goes and how many terms you had remaining. For any questions regarding this, please email studentaccounts@appstate.edu. Thanks for watching our video.